Hey everyone, welcome. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's a live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest, a husband and wife duo, and one is an author and love and relationship expert. The other is the president and CEO of Phax LLC, and they join us to speak on how they found love together, and ultimately unlikely time, and how they are helping others to do the same, and to highlight their book too. They have a fantastic book, Second Act, Living Boldly and Abundantly at Every Age. So please welcome to the show, Cheri and Tracey Syphax. Cheri, how are you?
Hello, we are well. How are you?
Tracey, you good?
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having us.
Tracey, I see the steps that you built in back of you.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty handy with the hands, but since we tired,
he can only go up from there, right?
Yeah.
No, is it a brand new home?
His last labor of love. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, it continues. It doesn't stop there. So listen, tell us how you met and how you put all this stuff together. Just give us a little touch, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, I'll let my wife do that. She's good at kind of compartmentalizing. We don't take an hour to do it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So we met online during the pandemic. So I was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my husband in Trenton, New Jersey. We were locked in and shut down, and I was all by myself. I'm a transplant from California, from the Bay Area to Philadelphia. And I decided, let me go ahead and try online dating. I just got relationship. I wanted love, and I had historically dated normally in what people consider normal, meeting people in person, but obviously the pandemic impacted that. Went online, like I say in the 2020 interview, I am a marketing and sales person, and I can market and sell myself. And my husband saw me, and about 2 weeks after being online, he reached out and introduced himself to me, and we talked. We dated via like FaceTime and YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but FaceTime and Zoom, and ultimately met each other in person at a dinner that I planned on May 22nd of 2020. Yeah. We were engaged that year, New Year's Eve of 2020, and we got married May 22nd, 2021, a year to the day that we actually saw each other in person. So it's our story.
Great. Now, when you date online, does it take you're a marketing and research expert, right? Because you were doing your thing on there. How did you actually find them? And Tracey, how did you respond to that?
Well, as you know, she's a marketing expert, so it was her page stuck out at me. As you can see, Cheri has a beautiful smile, and I have dated online prior to us meeting online, so I knew how to date online, seeing it operate. So you go through there and you look at folks' profiles and you look at their pictures and you read what they have to say, and inside their bio is a complete description of their life. Their life journey, and just listening to her and reading her bio and what she wrote was just truly amazing, and someone that I wanted to get to know and spend some time with it. So even though I was in Trenton, New Jersey, yes, I welcomed her to Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. But listen, a lot of people try to do this, but sometimes they're skeptical about, finding that right person. They may put something that's not right there. And then when you meet them, it's explosive. It's a whole nother story. How are you comfortable with that?
Well,
what made you comfortable?
So I was comfortable because, and we'll talk about the book later, I had done a lot of healing work. I had gone through a journey myself and gotten out of fear. So a lot of people are just fearful of the unknown, and dating online is somewhat the unknown. But I trusted I trusted my intuition, and women have that. I trusted myself to not only be the person that I wanted to attract, but to attract the person that I wanted to attract. So I really had no issues with approaching online dating. I think a lot of times, and Tracey can speak to this, it's the energy that you bring to the process. So it's not necessarily what you say and what you look like. It's also a certain energy that you bring to the process that I believe also can impact your experience.
All right. East Coast meets West Coast.
Yes, that's what it was. Actually, her name on her site was Bay Love.
Yep.
So she definitely has brought a lot of sunshine to the East Coast.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to have met her for sure.
What was your handle?
My handle was Tracey. Tracey S.
Tracey.
It was simple Tracey. But the thing is, Dr. Bob, the thing is that I could not put my last name on my site because once you Google me, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I am easily Googleable. I am easily researchable. You get to know all of my history just by Google search. So I never put my last name, and it actually took me a few weeks before I would finally give her my last name. Because I knew once I gave it to her, she would know everything about me.
But you got to start off step by step. You can't give it all right off the bat. A little mystery in there. But listen, how has your own experiences with love influenced the writing of your new book?
Yeah, so initially, everyone, as I've grown and I have children that are like track athletes and things like that, people have always said, and I've survived a lot of things. People have always said, you need to write a book. And I just never really felt that my story was impactful, partially because I think we as Black women, we go through things, right? I mean, and it just is our experience. It was something about when Tracey and I got married, our story has been covered in Philly Mag, the New York Times, O Magazine. We were on 2020. So many women, and I was 50 when Tracey and I met, 51 when we got married. So many, and a professional executive, right? So many people and women were reaching out and saying we were inspiring them. And how did you do it? And how did you meet your husband? And my answer really was, I met my husband because I met myself. And I attracted the love that I had for myself. And so many times in relationships before, I don't know that I felt worthy of the love that Tracey and I have. So that then became an interesting point. And I started coaching women on my healing coaching journey, on the way I healed myself. Because I think the first relationship you have to have is with yourself. It's the love that you have to have for yourself. And then all your other relationships, professional, social, romantic, those are impacted by that relationship you have with yourself. So at first I was going to write a book that just said something like, 5 ways to meet your husband online or some cute thing. But then as I was starting to help women, I realized that my journey was unique to me, but it was one that was somewhat specific to Black women as well. So it began to be like a love letter to other women to help them understand if you had a bad experience at one point, that doesn't necessarily define you. You can learn from those experiences and you can move on. It also was an honor to women because so many of us are in spaces that don't honor us. For me, it's an executive being in a white male dominated environment. And so how do we navigate that with a certain level of worth and confidence without attaching ourselves to some of the tropes and the stereotypes that negatively impact us? So it became this really full-on journey to getting to this second act, if you will, getting over fear, trusting myself, finding worth. And I thought it was something that so many other people could benefit from. Not to mention my husband is also an author. He wrote a book, From the Block to the Boardroom, and just having someone in your corner who had done it before encouraging you also helped me say, I can be vulnerable and share my story to help others.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So how did you come up with this name, Second Act, living boldly and abundantly at every age?
Well, I feel moving from Oakland to Philadelphia, changing careers. I was in like telecom and in the Bay Area, being Silicon Valley, that was my career before. And now I'm in the medical device industry, coming here, being single and now being married. It was just, I feel like I'm a star of this second act. We're just having so many experiences that I would not thought I would be having in my 50s.
She's got the dialogue. She's got it down. You guys make a great couple. I see you're building together. It's a beautiful thing. You love the way it's going, the way it's flowing.
Yes.
You got the harmony going on.
Yes, we have the right thing going on. We have the right combination, I believe, of trying to build a foundation and build generational wealth for our family, and also making sure that we taking care of ourselves personally. So we spend a lot of time in both of them. I don't know if it was mentioned that we actually just bought a 125-seat restaurant, 66 employees,
Woo!
Philadelphia, right. Which it gives us a great opportunity to not only, like I said, build generational wealth together, but also know how to have that balance of how we take care of ourselves personally, in which we do very well. I mean, today is Monday, which is our day off. You will believe we have a restaurant that's open 7 days a week. That we have a day off, but we make sure we take care of ourselves. So I think having that balance with someone like Cheri, and I think, you know, she talked about, and I think you talked about earlier, Dr. Bob, that, you know, you're going to talk about trauma and healing with your next guest. You know, that is so important. I think when you find someone who has done work on themselves and you have done work on yourself, it's a beautiful thing. And I think when we came together at the right time.
God is good.
I'm working today.
Wait a minute. Tell us about that restaurant. Is food good?
Oh, amazing. Booker's Restaurant in West Philadelphia, 5021 Baltimore Avenue. And we are open Monday through Monday, 10 to 10. So, yeah.
What kind of food are you talking about?
It's American fare with the Southern influence. So that's what I consider it. Yeah. So you're going to get those Southern blackened catfish, oxtail, jerk oxtails, things like that. But then you also have salmon burgers and things like that. So something for everyone for sure. We have a broad and eclectic menu.
Oh, beautiful. What advice can you share with someone who hasn't found that love that you guys are talking about?
Oh, so many things. One is, as I talk about in O Magazine, get rid of the list of what you think a man should be and have and do. Get rid of that list, because usually it has been influenced by external and outside influences, usually our religious background or what society believes that we should be doing, or who he should be, or, you know, all these external things that don't really matter. It does not usually have on it how a person's going to make you feel, how they're going to care about you, their integrity. So that's the first thing I say, is get rid of the list. And speaking of getting rid of the list, it is Re-entry month. My husband is formerly incarcerated. So for an executive woman to be dating a man who's formerly incarcerated, like 10 years ago, that would not have been on my list. But now it is, because people grow, evolve, and change. And there's so much that he brings that men that I dated with advanced degrees, not that there's a problem with that, but the kind of integrity and investment in our relationship that they never brought. So don't think of this cookie cutter way that love can be. The second is, again, finding your own value and love and worth with yourself. If you are triggered by certain situations, if you are always having problems, dig deep, look at yourself, because you're the common denominator. You're bringing yourself to the relationship. And then the last thing I would say is just date and have fun. Don't have fun and think that guy's going to be your husband. So all of a sudden you've got these expectations that no one's agreed to, you know, and so communicate what you want, communicate your desire. Date many men. You don't have to sleep with them all, but if you do, that's your problem. That's your issue. But you can date many men, and then let the one that rises to the cream of the crop be the person that you choose to allow to pursue you.
And Tracy's a good guy. Look at the halo coming down on the top of his head there.
I know. I was like, what's the light behind that?
Yeah. Tracy got it going on. Both of you guys are wonderful people. It seems like, you know, I can feel it. So you're doing some great things together. Give us social media where people can follow you and get more information on you.
So you can follow us. You can Google us pretty much, but you can follow us at Just Phax, JUSTPHAX. That is us on Instagram. Our website is www.justthephax.com, TraceySyphax.com. So that's where you can get his book, From the Block to the Boardroom. SecondAct.com is where you can get my book.
Talk about
it. And we'll be actually in Harlem on the 20th. And let's see, I want to make sure I have all the information.
We'll probably see you up there.
Oh, that would be awesome. Awesome. We'll be in Harlem on the 20th.
Bring some of that Philadelphia food.
Yep, 245 Malcolm X Boulevard, New York. Jennifer Mack will be hosting us, and we'll be talking about second act, love, Black love. If you want to talk about Black entrepreneurship, you know, any of those subjects, we'll be having a conversation about not only how did I attract my husband, but how do we have marriage. We're coming up on our 2nd year of marriage. How do we have businesses, and how do we support each other, and all those things? How do we make time for self-care? So we'll be having those conversations at that event.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. All right. Tracey, and Cheri. Got it. Syphax.
Yes.
Guys going on. Thank you for joining us, and you're always welcome to come back. All right.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. We'll take a quick break right here. We've got more open coming up next. Stay right there.